Hi friends, it's Roberta. I was going to case a card today by Channelle at Stampin' Stilettos on YouTube, and she made a card that she cased, I believe, from Pinterest, and she used 3 different types of washi tape and the Stampin' Up bow punch, and I'm going to try to make the same kind of a card. And I'm going to be using the Pretty in Pink ink from Stampin' Up, and I do not have any of the Pretty in Pink paper, so I'm going to have to make some by putting my paper on the ink pad and getting it inked up. Not easy. I tried to make something pretty in pink the other day, and it ended up saturating all the paper, made it a very dark Pretty in Pink color. And it's okay if it's not perfect. I like the little bits of white in there. I will also be using, for my sentiment, this stamp set, and I found out today the reason that they were sent off to Tuesday morning to be resold. The stamp is from Little Yellow Bicycle, and it's the You Are So Beautiful. Not really sure what it's called, but that's the biggest stamp in here. You Are So Beautiful, and it has original, perfect, kind, and the ampersand. And I wanted to use this large stamp that says beautiful, and the stamp up here that says you are. And in trying to stamp it, I found out the reason that it is sent to Tuesday morning to be resold is because the acrylic plastic that is used to make the stamp did not fill the mold all the way, and so the side of the stamp that's supposed to be even to be able to make the impression is actually concave, and so it gives you like the impression of like a stem in some places. On the T and some of the other letters, you can see how it's just hollowed out in many other places, and then where the B has all these connecting points, there's hollowed out places in those. And so there's the stamp itself is just filled with hollowed out places, making it difficult. And I did the trick that Lindsay Wyrick, the Frugal Crafter, says to do when a stamp is not stamping properly. You're supposed to, well, not supposed to, but you can opt to use an old style emery board and use the softest side and just file on the rubber or the plastic to try to smooth out or give little tiny etched scratches so it'll hold the ink. And I did that a number of times on this stamp, and no matter how many times I did it, there's no way. I would have to actually file down a full 2 or 3 layers of the whole stamp in order to be able to get it to stamp correctly. I mean, each of these you can still see the same areas, and this is after I've filed it down. And so I just decided, you know what, it's not working. I'll try to use my Misty, and if the Misty doesn't work, I can use my Stampin' Up blender pen and pick up some of the ink and be able to stamp it. And I have this positioned on here, but I'm actually going to put the tape on first. I was just going to show you that I'm going to be using the Misty and what the stamps are. And this is not dry, so I can't put it through the punch yet. So I'm going to pull out the card and lay down the washi tape way she did it was she just used 3 pieces and just randomly placed it, but like 1 this way and 2 going this way. So I'm going to do 1 coming up this way, and I'm hoping I'll still be able to do the beautiful stamp up above there. I might actually want to move that down just a tad. Let me try that again. This is an older washi tape somebody gifted me some time ago, so I'm hoping it's going to stick. If not, I can always put some glue on it. So this is the first color. And the second one is going to go across it, up a little higher. Try that again. I want it to go up here. I try to conserve what I have so I get more use out of it. Okay, that's 2. And then I have this other one. And of course her washi tape's pretty much coordinated better because she has the Stampin' Up! Washi tapes and they all go together. But I have these really cutesy ones I wanted to use. And girls like butterflies, right? Let's do it this way off to this side. Don't know that I'll ever be happy with the way I place it. I'm going to be doing the You Are So Beautiful across here, so I need to go just a bit lower. And then all you do for the washi tape is turn your card around and then just cut the excess tape off. Okay. There we go. All these little bits of sticky tape everywhere. Got to deal with it or they'll end up on everything. There we go. Alright, let's see if we can figure out how to position this. Getting a little sticky tape on me. Okay, so the reason I'm putting it in the Misty is, like I said, it's not laying down nice and flat and stamping. The ink is not transferring the way that it should be. So I have to use the Misty, and we'll see if that helps when I ink it. And you can see already there's barely any ink on most of these. I just have to keep applying it. The dark parts are just going to keep getting darker. You can see how hollowed out it is inside all these little places. And no amount of pressure is going to be able to get that to transfer on there. So I'll probably just have to use my blender pen to add that in. So I'm going to go ahead and close this till I get my blender pen. Let's see if I can remember where I put it. I had to do this blender pen day before yesterday using this same ink color. Something else that I had done, the color didn't transfer on the word thank on a thank you card that I had done. So thankfully I know about blender pens, and I have a Misty because it's a good way to save this kind of a project, as long as my hand will be straight enough or still enough to be able to do this. Just going to go right into the ink. See if this little nib can saturate it. I don't know if I'll be able to contact this company. I bought the stamp sometime last year and just have never used it. But today's project is about pulling out things that you've had and haven't used, or something you haven't used in a long time. And I received the bow punch in a giveaway from a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator back in Ohio. She would have this Facebook page, and she would list items, and the people on that page would be able to say that they were interested in a product that she had. And she would have not just Stampin' Up! Items, she'd have baby diapers and shampoos and kids' toys and different things. She'd have things donated to her. And so whenever she had Stampin' Up! Items, I always wanted to put my name in there so I could hopefully win. And I was blessed to have been able to win quite a few nice Stampin' Up! Products from her. I don't live in Ohio, so I'm not on that group anymore. But that's how I got the ink. That's how I got the bow punch. I love Stampin' Up! Products. So I'm wondering if I contact this stamp company, if they would send me, I don't know if they, did a new batch of these stamps that they would send out to their customers, or if they would send out a different product. I definitely want to contact them to see if there's something they could do to make it right. I don't have a Stampin' Right marker in this color, or I would be able to use that. But honestly, if I use that, it would not have the same look as doing it this way. When you use a marker, you can tell that it was used to draw or color or write. And so using the blender pen helps it to continue that stamped look. Although on this one it's not concise, but that's not on me, it's on the stamp. It's a beautiful stamp set. This T kind of pulls back up, so there is an opening there, but very slight. I do need to redo the UR up there because the E on the word R is not complete. I know this has taken a long time and I apologize. Just want to show some of you when you have a stamp that doesn't work right. If you have a Misty and a blender pen, you could even use a paintbrush. I mean, I've done this kind of technique also, you just using a regular paintbrush. And I pick the ink up same as I do the blender pen, and I've been able to fix the stamped image this way. This is not a stamp set I would use often though, just because of the amount of time it consumes. Okay. I'm not good at closing this one. I don't know what it is about this particular one, but it just does not close right. This is the one I struggle with all the time. Now for the blender pen, I always tell you to make sure you scribble it off, and on mine it never goes away. It takes like 5 or 10 minutes of scribbling, so I will get to that a little bit later when I have more time. I don't know why I closed it. I still have to do the UR. See if we can get that to stamp all the way. And the E is still just not doing it. Looks like that letter E has the same issue. And that is really fine print, so that would be hard for me to get perfect. So I'll just have to keep trying this. It's looking better and better. Move that away just a bit. Alright, I think I finally have it. I don't think that E is going to get any better than what it is right now. Just clean up my Misty real quick. Remove the stamps. Remove my card. Keep the magnets separate. Alright. So now, this is still not dry. You can tell by how wimpy it looks. I'm going to have to use the heat gun. If I had tried to put this through the punch while it was still wet, the paper would have torn. So that is the reason that I made sure to dry it first. And I need 2 of the tails, 2 of the sides of the bow, and then 1 for the center. I hope I inked enough on here. Need to straighten this out. I'm going to be very frugal with the use of my paper here. And I need 1 of each, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it from here. This is a brand new punch, but it's not punching very cleanly. It may be that the paper is still a little bit wet. And then 1 more of the tails. Alrighty. And I still need 1 more of those. And I don't think I have enough to get that. I can see I'm going to have to make more. I don't know how I got another one of these. Let's just try this again. I'll be back. Hi everyone. So I am making my own Pretty in Pink cardstock paper using some Nina 65-pound white paper, a sponge, and Pretty in Pink ink from Stampin' Up. It takes quite a while to get the amount of ink on this to make it have the Pretty in Pink color, and that is because it is a very light color. You make it as light or dark as you want. I don't want it to be too dark. I did do it dark before by laying the paper in here, and it took a long time to dry, and then even though I used the heat gun, it still didn't dry all the way. And when I tried to punch out, it didn't punch clean. It ripped the paper. So I'm going to try to see if I dry it if it's going to be dry enough to punch. Okay, so the first one through here, so I can get 2. I'm getting 1 of each of them that I need. I need another tail and another side of the bow. And there should be enough on here if I go down this way to get the largest one and that other tail. Alrighty. So I have the pieces I need, and it definitely cut a lot cleaner that time as compared to this. You can see it was very saturated, and it feels dry, but obviously wasn't dry enough. So here's the card. And I'm going to be using liquid glue, not glue dots or anything like that. I haven't used my Tombow Mono in a while. So I clean that little booger off of there. And the way to get these started, I got to get that glue off my fingers. Ugh. Tacky tacky. You use alcohol for that. That'll wipe it right off. So you're supposed to take a bone folder, which I don't have a traditional bone folder. I have one from a, is that an envelope or a box maker thing from Stampin' Up! That I have. And you just curl it. You could use a pencil to do the same thing. And you need to curl this little bit too. This is the part that goes around. And it get all that tacky off my fingers. So I need a drop of glue for both of these on one side. And I'm just going to share because the Tombow goes pretty far as being very tacky. I'm even going to put some on both ends of this one. And that'll give each of these a chance to start drying. So on these you want to take the edges and just kind of pinch them closed. And because it's already started drying, since I took my time, I don't have to worry about it drying too fast. Now I need a bit of glue on here. I'm going to cap it so it doesn't keep coming out. I like to spread it so it gets on both of them throughout the whole side there where it does it. And then this one, I'm going to bend it over the back. Kind of poof it a little bit. And then the bow is going to go probably right there. And I'm going to need a dimensional here because these have dimension to them. And I really don't think I need a lot of dimension, just enough to pop it up. And then these can go either way. They could go out like this. They could go like this. Or they can go down together like this. And sometimes you want your bow to be this way. So I'm not sure if I want it that way or if I want them coming down. So I just need to take my time and figure that out. I think I'll do it this way. That's enough of the Tombow. There's enough here to share the wealth between both of them. kind of cross them over one another. Position them the way that I want them. Take this and then put it down on here. Alright, there we go, folks. There's the card. And I never put anything on the inside of my cards. I always leave them for the recipient to do it the way that they want to. You can let me know what you think of the card. You can give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, subscribe to my channel, click on the bell to be notified, and also share on your own Facebook page. Thank you all so much. Have a blessed day.